Most reactivity training advice stops at don't let your dog bark, don't let your dog lunge, just keep a safe distance. But the question my students ask me constantly is, how do I actually introduce my reactive dog to another dog safely and without disaster? So today, I'll show you exactly how I planned and carried out a real-life introduction with a reactive dog named Ruckus. If you want smooth introductions with your own dog, you need to follow the same process. So let me walk you through it step by step. Planning really matters. And the truth is that most introductions go wrong before they even start. It's not the moment itself that ruins things, it's the lack of a plan. Because if you put two dogs together in the wrong place, at the wrong time, with the wrong energy, you are stacking the deck against yourself. And once things escalate, you do not have many good options to turn them around. That's why we always start with a plan. Because before the introduction happens, we can control everything. And that is where success comes from. I need to be crystal clear about something. What I'm about to show you is not the first step in reactivity training. If your dog is still barking and lunging 50 feet away from another dog, then they are not ready to even attempt a close intro. You will just set your dog up to fail. So before you ever think about getting really close, your dog has to be solid at staying calm when they see another dog at a distance. That foundation has to be in place first. That means that you've already put in the counter conditioning work, you've done sniffing practice and decompression walks, and you have made sure your dog's needs are met. Enough physical exercise, enrichment, and mental stimulation. Because if you skip those foundations, then no amount of clever planning will save the intro. So, let me introduce the cast. Ruckus is the reactive dog in this video. His owner has already put in a ton of work, so he was ready for this step. She also does an excellent job making sure his daily needs are covered. She brought along Eddie, another dog from the household. Eddie is a very socially neutral dog, calm, steady, and not easily rattled. That helps a lot because reactive dogs are always watching. If Eddie stays relaxed, Ruckus will pick up on that. From my own dogs, I chose Kix. She's 10 years old, friendly, but not over the top. She doesn't play wildly, but she does like other dogs. And if something feels too much, she communicates that calmly and appropriately. That kind of neutrality is gold for introductions. I used to bring Kix to my in-person sessions all the time for exactly this reason. Now, we did not do the introduction in a small backyard or even in the living room. That would force the dogs to zero in on each other and tensions would rise quickly. Instead, we chose an open field where we went for a long hike. Out there, the dogs had plenty to sniff and explore, which meant they were not hyper-focused on each other. We also had safety built in. Ruckus wore muzzle and a long line attached to a well-fitting harness. That way, if emotions had spiked, we had control without having to trap or catch him. Finally, we picked a quiet time of the day with little foot traffic, so that we wouldn't be adding extra stress when we ran into other hikers and their dogs. Now, here's the part I really want you to notice. The dogs mostly ignored each other. They sniffed the ground, explored, paid attention to the environment more than they paid attention to one another. And that is exactly what we want. Calm coexistence is the goal. Success looks boring. It looks like they barely notice each other. I actually would have been very concerned if they had instantly launched into wild play. Because for a dog like Ruckus, that level of intensity can and will backfire really quickly. I'm always going for neutrality. Dogs that can share space without drama, without obsessing about each other, and without over-the-top energy. You're probably watching this and thinking, well, that looked smooth. Is Ruckus even reactive? And yes, Ruckus is reactive. And yes, it did look very smooth. But that wasn't luck. It was the result of planning. I chose the right dog from Ruckus's family, the right dog from mine, the right location, the right time, the right gear. Every decision was made ahead of time to give the dogs the best chance to succeed. I actually sat down at home and I thought about how we can make this work the best. I called Ruckus's owner and I told her my plan. We set a date and we carried all of this out extremely intentionally. Nothing was left to chance, because smooth introduction never happened by accident. If you want them, you have to set them up. So we kept things really calm and appropriate. The dogs walked, sniffed, explored, and they did check in with each other naturally without being forced. Once more, my goal was not that they would be instantly best friends. It was safe, neutral, and positive first contact. So that's a lesson I really want you to take away from this. Success does not come from what you do in the heat of the moment. It comes from how you plan ahead. Every single thing you see in this video was intentional, and that's why it worked. If you want smooth intros with your dog, take the time to make a plan. Decide who the other dog will be, where you will meet, what equipment you will use, what state of mind your dog will be in, how long you're going to be there. Write it down if you need to. And if that extra bit of preparation prevents an escalation or fight, it's worth every second. Looking forward to helping all of you plan your training well so that your dog can succeed and can get better at reactivity and finally even being introduced to other dogs. As always, if you have questions, drop them in the comments, and I wish you many safe planned intros.